Jesse Lee Show. Oh, oh. Jesse Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesse Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesse Lee Show. Jesse Lee Show.
Hey, it's me, Jesse Lee. Thank you so much for pressing play on the podcast. You know what we do? Every week, this is our weekly regroup session. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there in the world, especially in the world of music. So we got to get together once a week and talk about it all, go over the biggest headlines in rock and metal. And then I read your comments. I read the critiques and the opinions of the Legion. If you want to be part of the Jesse Legion, there's two simple things you got to do. Just really easy. First of all, give me lots of money. There's an entry fee. It costs a lot of money. Of course not. It's free to become a part of the Jesse Legion. All you got to do is bang your head on that follow or subscribe button. That's step number one. Step number two, drop a comment, leave a question or a comment on any of the social media handles of your choice, of mine, or especially in the comment section of the YouTube and Spotify, and maybe you'll get featured in next week's video, all right? So let's dive into the first story this week. Jack Osbourne has set the record straight on just how much money Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne's farewell show actually made. Back to the beginning, of course, at this point, you know, was a historic event that happened last summer, last July. It was like the rock and metal Avengers assembling for one just awesome day of riffs and headbanging. It was a great time, obviously. And after the show, headlines all said that this event generated $190 million for charity because this event was not supposed to be for profit. Nobody was getting paid. This was all supposed to go to charity. And yeah, the headlines all said $190 million. But now on Tyler Ramsey's Painful Lessons Punk Rock Sober podcast, Jack Osbourne has said that that number is actually complete bullshit. He said, "This is how you know the news is probably 90% bullshit," Jack said. CNN and the New York Times were saying Ozzy raised $150 million, and it wasn't that. Now, in complete transparency, in the effort to be completely upfront with you, because I am your music news daddy, I don't want to, lead you astray. I, of course, was part of the bullshit reporting. I initially made some posts about this event generating $190 million, like a lot of the other outlets did. But to be fair, I got my source, which was a lot of these other outlet sources as well, was my number was coming from Tom Morello. That's right. Tom Morello is a musical director for this event, and he posted on his Instagram and said that it made $190 million. I took his word for it. I know he's not in the accounting department, but I thought he was in the know. So yeah, I reported on it as well. Obviously, that is not the correct number. But also, side note, something else that Tom Morello shared recently on Instagram was a graphic I made. A top 50 songs of some kind of graphic I made. Billboard's top 50 bands or something like that. I made a graphic for it. Tom Morello shared it. But he cropped out my logo. All right? And that has nothing to do with this story at all. But I still want to know, why, Tom Morello? Why'd you crop out my logo? It doesn't bother me. But it keeps me up at night sometimes. I wake up in a cold sweat like, why? Tom Morello, why? Why'd you crop up my logo? I could have gotten so many views. I could have gotten so many followers, Tom Morello. But, I'm over it, obviously. Anyway, on the podcast, Jack says no bands got paid and most of the crew donated their time. But you still have to pay for the actual gig itself because, obviously, everyone's donating their time, but there's still resources that need to be paid for. Just even think about like electricity or like the food that people are buying. I mean, everything needs to be accounted for. I think when it was all said and done, each charity got like 1.5 to 2 million pounds each. So it was like 6 or 7 million pounds, about 9.4 million. First of all, sorry for the 6-7. I know any parent listening's head probably just exploded when I did that. I can't control that. It just comes out. It's a reflex. I have a 7-year-old kid. I have a kid who turned from 6 to 7 this year. So trust me, I am in the thick of it with you. But yeah, it sounds like Jack Osbourne doesn't even know 100% how much this made, but he's estimating under $10 million around that number. I mean, again, I don't think, much like Tom Morello, I don't think Jack Osbourne was in there with the giant calculator at the end of the year, pulling the big lever and, having the receipts billow out. So that's how accountants still do numbers, right? That's how it runs. Hawk963 on Instagram said, "That's still really good. Wow." Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be like, "Oh, only 10 million? Oh, that's all you raised for sick children is 10 million? Couldn't you do better?" I know, it's still a great number. 10 million is still a solid number. It's still a great way for the Ozman, the Prince of Darkness, to go out, I feel like. Of course, this ended up being his last show. This ended up being the last parade for Black Sabbath and just a great send off for, Ozzy himself and Sabbath. And I think, doing some good on the way out was a great way to go out. 022 Evo on Instagram said it was $32. Sorry, this is British money. It's not US currency. So this is going to throw me for a loop a lot. I have a feeling here because I don't really know how it works. I don't know how conversions work super well. They said it was 32 pounds a ticket online, and I'm sure that was like 5 million views at one stage. So that's 160 million pounds. So yeah, I did see that number floating around too, that 5 million people tuned in for this event online. I mean, of course, there was, thousands and thousands in attendance, but 5 million tuned in to watch the live stream of it. But I'm pretty sure, at least I know for a fact, in my comment section, I saw people saying that they were watching this for free through a VPN. So I don't know how many of these 5 million people that were actually watching this live stream actually paid money for it, but that's hard to pinpoint. Oliver G. Kamazoo on Facebook said, how do you go from 190 million raised per Tom Morello, who helped organize it, to under 10 million raised with such limited expenses per Ozzy's son? For a sold-out event at capacity over 40,000, selling out in less than 20 minutes, and tickets between 150 to 275 pounds, and pay-per-view is 5.8 million concurrent streams, tickets priced at $29.99, and there's a premium package for $64.98. The math ain't mathin'. 40,000 times 200 pounds equals 8 million pounds. Convert that to USD at 1.27, and that's 10.2 million. Okay. I feel like that Austin Powers clip, like, oh, I've gone cross-eyed again.
Back to, oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Like, there's so many numbers. Okay, let's wrap this up here. This is a lot of numbers. Essentially what you're saying is, I'm gonna put the graphic on if everyone wants to read this, that it's still 64 million gross for the pay-per-view. You're saying that this pay-per-view made 64 million gross. Something ain't mathin'. Okay, I don't know how to check your numbers here because I don't have Black Sabbath's accounting in front of me here. But listen, I don't think this is like a big conspiracy. I don't think there's anything shady happening. I don't think this is back to the beginning Gates, okay? I don't think anyone's pocketing a bunch of money instead of putting it to charity. Of course, shady things happen in the music industry and the entertainment industry at large. Of course, bad shit goes down. I don't know. I don't believe that they're pocketing any money and not telling us about it for this event. I feel like there's way too many cooks in the kitchen to keep this under wraps. I feel like if they weren't being truthful about how much the money this concert made, then somebody would let the cat out of the bag by now. Also, side note, we still don't know what band Sharon Osbourne kicked off this event. Because remember, there was supposed to be one band that was going to play this, and Sharon Osbourne said she had to kick them off because they were being difficult. And she said no band was getting paid for this, and this band wanted money, they wanted to be paid. We still don't know who that band was. She said she was going to reveal that shortly after the event, and obviously that never happened, so I hope that there's some follow-ups to that one day. We got an update to the Ronnie, Radke, and Brittany Furlan whole Catfish saga, the Catfish adventure. The whole saga started back in May of last year when Furlan began communicating with someone who was allegedly impersonating the Falling Reverse frontman on Snapchat. Radke denied it, of course. He denied the account belonged to him. The whole situation eventually died down. It was pretty amazing content-wise for a couple of months there, but it eventually went away, it died down. And then, for whatever reason, Furlan brought it up recently. It's like when you flush a turd and you think it's gone, you look down, like, oh, it came back up. It didn't go down all the way. All right, we're going to have to deal with this. And this isn't me calling either one of them a turd. This is just a metaphor or a simile, okay? Just let's not get too hung up on semantics here. But yeah, this turd over story is back up in the news again. This time, she's accusing him of creating other fake accounts to troll her. And we covered this pretty at length at last week's episode of the podcast, so I'm not going to dive too much into that. But Neve from Catfish, he has joined in on the action here, and he has given his take on this whole situation.
I'm not going, I haven't done any kind of formal investigation. It's hard to even get any kind of receipts from this type of stuff because if it was Snapchat stuff, it's gone. If there's no screenshot, or if there's, it's like you'll never really know for sure.
That was always my thing with this whole situation. Is like everything was being done through Instagram stories and Snapchat and screenshots. It was so hard to ever get a real concrete paper trail of like, even in like a timeline aspect of things.
I'm just going based on the characters involved, and I know Brittany. And obviously, she's a public figure. She's someone who is a performer. She's got a big personality. But I think that at her core, she's a genuine person who, at least from what I know about her, has a track record and history of being a nice person. I don't think there's
she's a nice person.
Wake of sort of emotional or relationship sort of mess and disaster that sort of trails behind her. And I also know Soraya, and similarly, I think she's a genuinely good person. And I don't know Ronnie personally, but from what I've heard from both of these women, and I'm inclined to believe the women, he may not be the most trustworthy, caring, and truthful, honest guy. So I'm just going to say that if I had to choose who's telling the truth here and who's more likely to be, using this whole situation to benefit them, even if it means it comes at the cost of others, I'm inclined to sort of side with Brittany.
Why is he doing this? Why would he do this interview? Like, he literally says he did not have any formal investigation into this. He did not really look into this. He's just basically like, yeah, Ronnie seems like a scuzzy dude, so I'm going to believe Brittany. Like, why would you even go on TMZ? Listen, I loved Catfish. Don't get me wrong. Like, MTV Catfish, I could binge watch the crap out of that show. I could just post. If I had nothing to do, if I had zero obligations for a day and there's a Catfish marathon, oh yeah, I could stay in my seat for a while. That's some good quality programming there. I love it. But I don't know. I think that was a bad idea, Neve. I don't think that was a good idea to just blindly support Brittany because essentially she's your friend. Again, I don't know why they would even have him, TMZ would even have him on this to talk about it because, yeah, he's the host of Catfish. He knows things. But, like, unless he's not, like, he knows how catfishes work. But, like, unless he's actually going to give a Catfish opinion, like Catfish host opinion, I don't know. I think it's just, I guess it's just clickbait at that point. This is also unfortunate because Ronnie said when he was being interviewed about this, he said, yeah, let's get Neve from Catfish involved. He's like, I think that'd be great. I think it'd be awesome to have Neve come in and help clear my name. And then Neve says this. It's like, oh, what the hell, man? Like, come on. So as to be expected, Ronnie Radke did not take Neve's opinion on the matter too great. He was not super stoked about what Neve had to say. And Ronnie made his own video. But of course, Ronnie's Instagram is still not active. Both of his Instagram accounts are still deactivated, blocked, taken down, whatever. As of today, January 13th, they are still not up. I've got some inside sources to say that he's in the process of getting it put back up. But at this point, he still does not have an Instagram page. So he actually posted this video on Falling in Reverse's Instagram page, which is the first time this drama has made its way to the band's official page. Like, the band's Falling in Reverse's official Instagram page has been kind of like a calm sanctuary, for Ronnie Radke related news stories. Usually, people who are following the Falling in Reverse page are just going there for the music, watching the videos, merch, like live stuff, behind the scenes stuff. Honestly, there's a lot of people I feel like that follow Falling in Reverse on socials and listen to their music on the radio and whatever, and have no idea that there's all this other kind of drama tied behind the band as well. Because again, this stuff doesn't usually make it to the main page. It doesn't make it to the main grid too often. But Ronnie had no choice to get his story out. He had to go to the Falling in Reverse page.
Nev Schulman saying that he pretty much spoke to my ex-girlfriend Soraya regarding this whole thing and pretty much implying that I'm known for lying and I'm a liar because of what I've done to this person and that person, implying that Soraya has anything to do with this. Well, let me tell you something. I just had an hour-long phone call with Soraya, and you're lying, Nev. That never happened. You got all your information from Brittany and then lumped Soraya in on this to make it seem like something crazy so you can get yourself a TMZ deal to where you can do a show and make some money off of me. Now I'm hearing from Soraya that...
Okay, that's interesting. So if Neve ends up hosting his own TMZ show shortly after this, then things might add up a little bit there.
You want nothing to do with this. What happened to believing or looking at the evidence? You don't want to see the evidence? You're so biased that your friend, you admitted to being friends with Brittany, and you want to come on here and say that I'm lying and say that my ex is saying that when it never happened. You're a liar. I don't know how many times I've been gaslit. Imagine, hold on, check this out. Imagine if this happened to a woman, where a guy was doing what this woman is doing to me, but it was a guy doing it to a girl. I have videos of you naked, fucking revenge porn, which isn't true. I have videos of you getting your dicks. I have videos of you getting your whatever, like, you know what I mean? Imagine
I haven't heard
a guy
that part of
doing
the story.
this. Imagine a guy showing up to this girl's house. Imagine a guy showing up to this girl's med spa when she's there, just standing staring at him. Imagine a girl filing a restraining order. Imagine all of this reversed. What would you guys think of that? You guys want to laugh and play games because I'm some dude. Oh, it's a dude. Stop. It's fucking insane, man. Hey, Nev, you know what's crazy about your statement about on TMZ? You said, believe all women. We should, shouldn't we? We should believe them all, right? Just like this one. Nev Schulman's sexual misconduct accuser files a police report.
Geez.
I totally believe her. I think you did it. The allegation or production of MTV's show Catfish has been suspended following claims of sexual harassment against the host, Nev Schulman. Huh.
Damn.
Believe the women, buddy.
Pulling up dirt.
It's really unfortunate, isn't it? You want to live by the sword and die by the sword. If this is the hill you want to die on, instead of trying to get sufficient evidence, like instead of just blindly calling someone a liar, you think I'm going to make a Ronald Joseph Rad Snapchat posing as me but not me. I'm the Catfish from an account that I use my name from TikToks. Videos that you got from my TikTok and Instagram that are posted on there that are clearly, I could debunk, I could show you.
There's so much echo.
I went and
I wish
did
you could
all of
record
that
this in the bathroom
just
or
to
something.
mess with somebody.
I mean,
And you
record
want,
these in the
just
studio,
because you're
bud.
friends with them and you've heard one side of it. That's crazy. You know the irony in your statement about the sexual misconduct that you did or whatever they're saying you did? The behavior described in this video did not happen, Nev said. How ironic. I'm fortunate that there are a number of former colleagues who were present during this time period who are willing to speak up for the truth. I've always been transparent about my life. How ironic. You know what? I could say the same thing too, Nev. But guess what? We believe the women.
All right, sorry, I didn't know that video was gonna be so lengthy. I hope you're still around. I hope you stuck around after the length. Neve responded. Neve has some thoughts about this.
Hey, it's Neve. I just wanted to make a quick video for Ronnie and all of his supporters and fans, mainly just to say,
Dude, Neve looks frazzled in this video. He looks very nervous. He looks Nevis in this video.
you know, I got roped into this story. It wasn't something I knew anything about, and I just wanted to say that I am sorry. So again, my apologies. I don't have the information. I shouldn't have made any kind of judgment. I hope I didn't offend anyone, and hopefully this all gets resolved and everyone can move on with their lives, hopefully in a better, positive direction.
Okay, so Neve apologized for just talking out his neck and not really knowing what the situation was and just, you know, going off of vibes, going off of feels, I guess. Yeah, he looked pretty frazzled in that video at the beginning. He's like, whew. Hey, okay, guys. Things have gotten wild. See, what I think happened here is the Ronsters have contacted Neve, is what I'm guessing. I'm guessing after this video that Ronnie posted, you know, Ronnie Falling Reverse has a pretty loyal fan base, and they probably didn't like what Neve said, and they rallied behind Ronnie and they came behind him. I don't think Neve knew what he was getting into when he did this little interview with TMZ. He's probably not a big metalcore fan. He probably didn't know the loyal following that Ronnie has and the people that will defend him to the end of the earth. I'm assuming his comment section and his DMs were a little negative for a day or two, and that's probably why he made this follow-up video. But my take on it has not changed. I still don't believe Ronnie is behind this Catfish. It seems like he's gone to great lengths to try to clear his name here and prove that it's not him. And honestly, at the end of the day, it just doesn't make any sense for him to be doing this. Like, could you imagine him creating fake Snapchats and Instagrams and sending her weird messages and just spending his time doing this? Like, the dude is a rock star on the road, touring and, you know, playing shows and shooting music videos. I just don't see him devoting any time to catfishing Brittany. To what end? just to fuck with her? Like, what is the purpose here? All right, I do have one more clip I want to show you here, not related to the Catfish saga. This is a very video-heavy show. I apologize if you're just listening, but I mean, there's audio. It's all audio-based, so even if you're not watching, if you're listening, I think these videos are still hopefully landing for you. If not, you may have clicked off already, and if that's the case, you're not hearing me right now, so F you. Huh? All right, suck it. No, so Jackass 5. Johnny Knoxville has confirmed that a new Jackass movie will be coming to theaters on June 26th. Immediately, the first question fans want to know is Bam Margera going to return to the franchise? Since he was unfortunately not in the 4th installment, he was supposed to be in Jackass Forever. At the end of the day, he was left out. He was pulled from the movie. At the time, there were reports that this led to lawsuits and different various legal disputes. But now with Jackass 5, it does sound like Bam Margera is going to be in it, sort of. He's going to be featured in the movie through archival, never-before-seen footage, just basically stuff that they shot with Bam a long time ago, maybe even for the last movie that they didn't use. They're going to show that in the movie, but he's not likely to shoot any new stunts for the movie. And Bam confirmed that himself, that he's not filming any new stunts for this upcoming Jackass movie. TMZ, again, actually caught up with him and talked about it. A lot of TMZ. This is a lot of videos and TMZ-heavy content today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for, I'll try to do better next week, I guess. I don't know. I didn't sleep well last night.
Hey, Bam. Great to see you, too.
Hey, Bam. I always dislike the way TMZ
I know we saw the new Jackass movie was
reporters,
just announced. I mean, we're hearing
pounce.
you reached an
Hey,
agreement, for them to use your old footage. So how did this all come about?
Well, if you had a laundry list of the chain of horrible events of the 2 years of COVID that they put me through, spending my own money at an alarming rate for therapists, doctors, and treatment and all this, only to sit me down and tell me you're not in the movie and you're not getting $5 million. I watch Dateline and people kill other people for a whole lot less. So I have a lot of PTSD from it all. And, just having the title now of ex-Jackass star Bam Margera, I have to live with that. The humiliation, the abandonment, and just embarrassment of it all, I had to let it go. And everyone was like, you need to let, everything that Jackass did to you go. I'm like, I did let it go. Goodbye. So, now I'm very happy skateboarding again. My wife is a stretch coach. She got my legs back to being 20, and I'm getting all my skate sponsors back and then some. And my only other focus is keeping this perfect marriage more perfect, and my 8-year-old son, Phoenix the Wolf, who lives right here in Los Angeles. But they did ask me, they said, we're gonna sift through a lot of old footage to try to create something new. And I said, hell yeah, go for it, because
he was
I
ready to
remember
talk
filming
about this.
so much funny shit that never made it to the movie simply because it's probably, it would be too long or it's just too gnarly. But I mean, I said, yeah, have at it. So as far as I know, I don't have to film anything new, and I don't want to.
Oh, okay. But I know your fans would want you to film something new, because I know there's going to be maybe some new stunts, there's no chance that you would.
I'm just too hurt by it, and I already accepted the fact that I don't want anything to do with it anymore, and only time will tell. But right now, at this time, I don't want to do anything.
Okay. Have you talked to, Johnny Knoxville or Squash the Beef, or have you two?
No, I haven't. I'm still friends with everybody on Jackass, but I mean, yeah, we just saw Chris Pontius, but which was nice. But for Tremaine and Knoxville to sit me down after everything I've been through and just simply say, you're not in it and you're not getting the $5 million that you usually get. I mean, 50% of the reason why Jackass exists is because of CKY. So, I was very angry, and now I'm not angry, I'm just hurt. And as of now, I don't even want to think about reuniting with anybody.
Okay, so what would it take for you is it accountability from, Knoxville?
Yeah, it's accountability. I mean, they're always saying, like, you got to stop playing the blame game and quit being the victim. And I'm like, I went through 2 years of hell. You're in the movie, you're not in the movie. Go to therapy, go to treatment, go see neurofeedback for $800. I'm like doing all this stuff, and then for them to say you're not in it, I'm like, well then you. So my feelings to them are still you.
Okay, yeah, so Bam Margera is in the new movie for now. Hopefully that statement does not get him removed from the upcoming movie again. because he is still pretty bitter about how the last one played out, how the last situation with Jackass Forever turned out. And he's right. CKY was like the kernel that had a pop in order for Jackass to be created. Like CKY was the originator. I remember watching those CKY videos back in the day because I am old. And then when Jackass came out, my group of friends, we were like, oh, this is like a watered down version of CKY. And they got rid of some of the CKY people as well. And like, for whatever reason, Johnny Knoxville was the leader of this. And no one knew who Johnny Knoxville was at the time. Of course, after watching Jackass, we realized how great the show is. And of course, the movies coming later. Jackass is a fantastic franchise. And I've laughed my nuts off many and many times watching those videos, like the MTV show and the movies, of course. I love Jackass, but I'm just saying at the time, initially, coming as a CKY fan, I was like, what is this? Who's Johnny Knoxville? Tyler Pumphrey, 93 on Instagram, said, better than no Bam at all. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, we'd love to see Bam do some new stuff, and we'd love to see Bam be more on the same page with these guys and, bury the hatchet and bury the beef. But hey, he's a part of the franchise. This is a stepping stone, okay? This is hopefully the right moves. We're getting back to everyone getting along and being a one big happy Jackass family again. M Slack at 95 said, to be fair, dude is like 50 now. Yeah, I mean, they're all in their 50s and sober now. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of stunts any of them are going to pull off in this new movie. Like, is going to be some kind of switcheroo at the colonoscopy appointment or something. Also, he said in that video that his body's just getting back into shape now, thanks to his wife, who's a stretching coach, and she's got him out there working on his legs. He's skating again. So physically, I wonder what kind of stunts he would even be capable of doing at this point. I mean, you don't want to do something. I mean, they're all stupid, of course. That's the point of the show. But you don't want to do something so stupid that just completely wrecks your life and sets you back, and negates all the progress you made over the years. ADHD's Nuts on Instagram said, huge news for the unemployed and those behind on child support. I don't know if that's actually accurate. I mean, that's a funny comment, of course, but I feel like most millennials that grew up with Jackass, I feel like they're probably all working 9-to-5 banking jobs right now, or doing marketing for some kind of aromatherapy candle company or something. I feel like there's not a lot of people unemployed and on behind child support that are Jackass fans. I mean, maybe there are a lot of those as well, but I don't know. I feel like it's probably a healthy mix, right? It's probably a healthy mix. All right, let's get into some questions for the week from you, the Legion. Jack, if you can go ahead and play our nifty little question theme song we got. Brooks wants to know, what is your favorite musical genre besides metal? Honestly, I don't even know if I would say metal is my favorite genre. I mean, of course, I love metal. I don't want all the gatekeepers coming after me and calling me a poser. I love metal. I do like metal. But I'm just saying, if I'm picking one main genre, my number one, I'd probably go rock as a whole. Like, just rock in general is my favorite. But, aside from that, rock, metal, pop, punk, and emo, I guess that could still be considered adjacent to, the whole rock genre. But that'd be my next genre of choice, would be pop, punk, emo, early 2000s emo primarily, but, new emo as well, like Nothing Nowhere. Great artist, does some great new emo. D-Man said, have you ever been to a Slaughter to Prevail show? If so, how was the Wall of Death? I have. I saw Slaughter to Prevail at Incarceration Festival this past summer. They did the Wall of Death. They broke the record for the largest Wall of Death, allegedly. I mean, I don't know if anyone's verified that for sure, but allegedly this was the record-breaking Wall of Death. It was awesome. It took forever. It took a good 7 to 8 minutes for it to be organized, because I think they were doing 2 walls of deaths, and they were on either side of the sound booth, and it took a lot of coercion. It took a lot of herding, a lot of directions, a lot of Alex Terrible calling everybody bitches and telling them to hurry the fuck up. It took a while, but they eventually got it. They got it together and they did the Wall of Death. It was pretty cool. Liam Matt at 12 said, advice for a young person interested in working in the music industry. Well, I mean, first and foremost, just start doing it, whatever it is that you want to do. I mean, if you want to be someone who books shows, just start reaching out to local venues and seeing if they need some help booking shows, if they need somebody to help booking local acts. Start small, obviously. If you want to be a writer, just start writing. Just start, whatever you want to do now. There's very little gatekeepers, I feel like, in the music industry, because so much is built off of social media and whatnot. You can start off doing your own thing, and eventually, if your goal is to be hired by a company to do it, for big amounts of money, then maybe that's in the future. But whatever it is that you want to do, just do it now. Just start. Whatever it is. You're probably not going to make any money. You're probably going to lose money. It's going to be really hard at first. You're probably going to suck at it at first. You're definitely going to suck at it at first. I don't think anyone's going to be awesome right away. But it's like anything else. It's like going to the gym. You got to get your reps in. You got to put out 100 pieces of whatever it is that you're doing. And then that 101 piece is hopefully good. It's hopefully solid. Other advice, I guess, would just be nice. Just don't be a dick. You know, there's so many shitty people in the world, and there's just so many like egocentric, just a-holes in the music industry as well. Well, not even, I shouldn't even say that. Not really in the music industry, but like just in the general, like you meet on social media, especially coming up, you see a lot of people who are just, I don't know, just have a bad attitude, just very negative. You know, just try not to be that person. You know, be nice to people. Don't be an a-hole. You know, be nice to people on your way up, because you're gonna see those people on your way down. You know, and you want to make sure they remember you as being a good person. And also, I just feel like that's a happier way to live your life. Just being a rad dude or dudette, whatever it is. IX Ad said, which singer/rapper do you think would be successful if they did metal? I'm going to say Ed Sheeran. All right. Ed Sheeran did that collab, of course, with Bring Me the Horizon. He's apparently got some collab in the works with Cradle of Filth. And I don't know, I think he could do it. I think if he wanted to make a full-blown rock or metal song, I think Ed Sheeran could pull it off. He's extremely talented. Complete side note. But I watched that Ed Sheeran thing they had on Netflix. It's called One Shot, I believe, where he's going through the city and playing these like just pop-up gigs in all these different areas, locations. And to be completely fair, or to be completely honest, I'm not a big Ed Sheeran fan. I really don't care for his music that much. I mean, he's some of the tracks are catchy and whatnot, but I wouldn't consider myself an Ed Sheeran fan. But man, watching that video of him, watching that Netflix special was pretty cool. I'm very impressed how he put that all together. And I don't know, it made me like his music a little bit more. But yeah, I do think Ed Sheeran, I think he'd be great. I think he'd be good at doing a rock or metal project. Hannah Van Velzer is sending an email. She said, is this band AI? Man, I feel like this has become like a weekly segment here on the podcast. It's trying to investigate and find out if a band is AI or is it human. Said, hey, Jesse, need your AI band detective skills here. There's a band that follows me on Instagram called Fading Into Silence. I initially didn't follow them because I thought they were AI, but then I saw their social media presence with real people and thought they could be a legit band. Their music sounds great, but I'm highly skeptical and I don't want to be duped. Any chance you could see if they're legit or AI? All right, let me put on my robot detecting ears. I don't really have those, but I should. I should invest in some big silver tinny looking ears to put on when I do this segment probably. All right, let's listen to some of their music. Play the first track, What's Left of Me, on their Spotify. Yeah, it sounds pretty human. It doesn't sound nearly as robotic as some of the AI bands that we've been looking at and listening to. It's not setting off any yippee AI vibes to me right off the bat. Let's check out the bio here. So first of all, right away, they got pictures of actual human people in there. They're wearing masks. So, of course, that adds to the anonymity, but also the possible AI factor. But at least there's people in the photo. A lot of times with these AI bands, there's not even people in the photos. It's just some avatar. It's not a real person. Bio says the project Fading Into Silence was born from the collaboration between the band's two main producers, who are also the bassist and the drummer. The two musicians share a long journey made of music, tours, and international stages, which led them to perform across Europe, Russia, and the United States, alongside legendary bands such as Soilwork and Fear Factory. All right, so they've played some live shows, it sounds like. Driven by the desire to explore new expressions of music, they founded Fading Into Silence at the end of 2024, giving life to distinctly modern metalcore sound characterized by down-tuned guitars and dark atmospheres balanced with pop and electronic elements. What makes them truly unique is extremely versatile voice, capable of moving naturally from melodic to catchy lines to intense and heartbreaking screams and growls. Starting in November, the band will release a series of singles and remixes that anticipate their debut album, Woman on My Mind, scheduled for spring 2026. Whew! All right. I mean, that bio doesn't even sound AI. You know, a lot of times these chat GPT bios sound just, they have a bunch of descriptive, like poetic words in them, but that don't actually mean anything. They don't sum up to anything. But this actually just sounds like a band that just like wrote a bio themselves. Like, yeah, we've been around for a while. We toured around. We play with these bands, and we're working on a new album. There's nothing like granulose about this bio, I feel like. The listeners are all from a different countries, but I mean, the band is also from a different country, it looks like, as well. So that's not a big red flag. They're not on any weird Spotify playlist, no botted playlists on here. Even their monthly listeners are a respectable 4,000. A lot of times with these AI bands, they're jacking up their monthly listeners with fake playlists or bots, and they're up in the hundreds of thousands. This band only has 4,000 monthly listeners, which is, again, great. Good starting point. You know, they've already put out a few songs. They haven't put out like 30 songs in a month like a lot of these bands have. A lot of the AI bands have done. Check out their Instagram. All right, their Instagram is photos of real people holding real instruments. There's a video here of them in the studio. There's a video of them. It's kind of a weird angle, a weird shot, but I mean, it looks like they're playing instruments. They got masks on. There's even one of these videos is even making a joke about it when what's it say? POV, when people keep saying you're AI, but you're actually playing for real. I mean, here's a video of him playing guitar in the studio, tracking it, again, wearing a mask. But, you know, I could be getting duped here, but I'm going to say Fading Into Silence, human. This is a human band. I'm going to qualify them as a real human band. And I like this track. I like this first song I listened to. So yeah, check out Fading Into Silence. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think this is an AI band. I'm saying not AI. I'm saying human. I hope I'm not funneling listeners to a fake band. But I mean, by all accounts, this looks like a legitimate band, Fading Into Silence. So check them out. Let me know what you think. And that's going to do it for me this week. Speaking of let me know what you think, let me know what you think of this podcast episode. Let me know your thoughts. If you got any critiques, you know, be nice though. Don't be too harsh. I can't handle too much criticism. I'll be back here next week again, Wednesday. Same time, same place, same dick jokes. In the meantime, you can find me at Jesse Lee on TikTok and Instagram, at Jesse Lee Show on X. And make sure to bang your head on that follow and subscribe button for the podcast. And join the Jesse Legion. Be featured in next week's video. And above all else, make sure to share this podcast episode with somebody that doesn't suck. All right? Take it easy now, and bye-bye.
The Jesse Lee Show.